All right, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs against the Carolina Panthers. Kansas City Chiefs continue to dominate, whereas the Panthers have been pretty up and down this year. Started out pretty slow, then got off to a nice hot streak, and then last week losing to the Falcons in kind of an embarrassing fashion. In my opinion, they just really underperformed. Definitely less impressed by the Panthers as of late. Christian McCaffrey is back this week, so that's good news for fantasy. I don't know that does much for them this week against the Chiefs, but hey, something to note for sure. 52.5 point over under in this one, but Chiefs are favored to win this one by 11 points. Vegas obviously doesn't give the Panthers very much of a chance at all, giving us an implied point total of about 32-21. So as we had kind of projected, I think the Panthers defense is slowly starting to show that they're not bad. We were expecting, heading into the season, if you watch our preseason analysis, we were expecting the Panthers defense to be one of the worst in the league, and they have not been that. Like, I will give them credit. They have been better than advertised, even though they really don't have many, star named players on their team. They've been making do with the turned over roster from last year, where they have a ton of rookies coming in and a bunch of guys that you typically wouldn't expect to see starting on an NFL defense. They've done admirably, but they haven't played the Chiefs yet. And I think this is a week where they're really exposed, especially in the secondary. So up to this point, the Panthers have allowed the 28th most points to receivers. Like I've mentioned, they've been loosening up a little bit, but even last week, Julio Jones had a good game. No one else really had a good game against the Panthers last week. They've been decent against tight ends, decent against quarterbacks. The run game is where they've been the most exploitable, although last week we saw them shut Gurley down for most of the game. So this has been a very interesting team to try to figure out. I'm not scared of their defense. The Chiefs, this is going to be a really easy game for them. So the real question marks are, who do we play on the Panthers side? I also think that's pretty easy. Even though the Chiefs have been a very stout defense, I think the Chiefs get up to a lead pretty quickly. I think we're going to see a lot of passing in this game. So to me, you're playing McCaffrey because, of course, he's back. He's practicing fully. You waited this long. If you have him on your squad, you got to throw him out there. Robby Anderson and DJ Moore, I know they underperformed last week, but in this matchup, we're expecting the Chiefs to put up more points than the Falcons did. I think you see a lot of passing in this game. I'm comfortable starting both of them, even though this has been a tough matchup against receivers. I think the volume is there for both of these guys to put up a decent fantasy performance. I have them both ranked in the wide receiver 2 category. I'm not playing Teddy, and Curtis Samuel has been interesting, but I think with Christian McCaffrey coming back, I think Curtis Samuel's role gets diminished. I'm not as excited about him this week. Mike Davis, it was great. I enjoyed being able to play you, but with Christian McCaffrey back, going back to my bench. On the Chiefs side, we're playing Mahomes, we're playing Hill, we're playing Kelce. I think you play the Chiefs defense in this one. They've been pretty good up to this point, although don't be surprised if the Panthers have a pretty decent performance. The real question is, can you play the running backs in this game? As we mentioned, the Panthers, one of the worst teams against the run. I think you can trust Clyde Edwards-Helaire. You could even talk me into flexing Le'Veon Bell. The touch split has been pretty even, but Clyde has looked better as a runner. Both been equally involved in the passing game. Last week was not a good game for them. That was just how it turned out to be. I would expect them to have a better performance here against the Panthers because the Panthers are so exploitable in the run game. Look for Clyde to have a top 12 performance this week. Mecole Hardman is always someone that you could consider as a flex play, but he pretty much needs a long touchdown for you to be happy. If you're comfortable with the potential for him to give you a 0, you can play him, but I'm typically not comfortable with guys that could potentially goose me. I think the Chiefs win this one by the margin that Vegas is projecting. I got the Chiefs 35 to the Panthers 23.